Can you see me? You sure? Okay, I'm going to head out to the office now because I've got loads of shipping to do. But I'm going to leave Kate here making some potato chip bark. Now, before we go any further, let's just talk about what crosses the Atlantic well and what doesn't. These are crisps. These are chips. I'm going to get everything ready. My kettle's busy warming up over there. I've bought all the dark chocolate I could afford. It's different sorts because I had to buy it at different times in different shops. I got the crisps. I've got backup crisps if I haven't got enough. And I've got my gloves. And I'm going to prepare the patting area. Now, I'm going to invite you to play Hercules Candy bingo or drinking game, because every time I mention something there is a definite Hercules Candy Tribute pun or joke. You can take a drink of your favourite drink or just mark it up and tell me how many there are at the end. I'm going to get my chocolate ready now. Shame to cover up this tie-dye. But I'm gonna. So while that's all melting, I'm going to prepare the bed of crisps. You know, having ascertained that this is going to be potato crisp bark, that's what I'm going to call it. So I'm going to put out a big pad of this stuff, which is parchment paper. Now, whenever I watch a Hercules Candy video, there's all sorts of things that I notice that they never mention. So I've put my remote control in a plastic bag because that seems quite important. And I'm going to put out a big, I have no idea how much of this I'm going to make. No idea. But I'm going to put a big block of this stuff out, and I'm actually going to stick the edges down because it's in two pieces. So I'll do that for a second or two. So Hercules Candy then, they are hands down my favourite YouTube channel, and probably the reason why I started YouTubing in the first place. All those years ago, when they were in their basement making candy in a tiny, tiny little space, and then they got their fantastic new shop and manufacturing premises, which already looks too small if you ask me. Okay, so I've got my area set out here, and okay, let's do this properly. We're handling food now. Let's put the gloves on. I haven't got clear gloves like you guys, but I have got, these are the gloves I have for my beekeeping, and they're all beautifully clean, never been used before, so they're fine. Now, I don't like working with gloves on, but I don't want all the comments from people in the comments saying, you should have been wearing gloves, Kate. So I'm wearing gloves. Okay then, let's do this. These are Walker's Ready Salted Crisps, which are the best crisps. It has to be said, Walker's. I love them. I'm gonna try really hard not to eat these, because I really like a bag of these every now and then. I'll put these on the chair beside me. Now, I don't know what I'm doing for quantities here. I'm just going to put all of them out and hope that I've got enough chocolate or enough crisps. I'll tell you now, I've got some backup crisps in the cupboard should I need them, but I think this will be enough. So what am I going to do with this potato chip bark when I finished it? Well, it's the May and June is the birthday month in my family. So there are 3 birthdays coming up. Take out the ones that are a little bit nasty looking. Yeah. So 12 bags I think there are in there. Yeah. I've never opened 12 bags of crisps in succession before. So now we need to temper the chocolate. And I watched, in preparation for this, I watched a few potato chip bark videos, and you don't need to break up the crisps because they break up in the process of being made. What I'm going to do with them is the dark chocolate. I'm going to put the dark chocolate all over, and then I've got some white chocolate and I'm going to temper that and drizzle it all over the top. So it'll be plain and white, which will please one member of my family very much. Okay, so, gee willikers, folks, how neat is that? Okay, guess what temperature that is? That's another thing that doesn't translate terribly well across the Atlantic, because I use centigrade, but when I'm doing anything for Hercules Candy, I use Fahrenheit. And so that is, it tells me it's 100 and I need it to be 84. So it could be some time. I'm going to cool it down a bit by mixing it like this. And because I'm a bit worried that I've got too many crisps and not enough chocolate, I've put some crisps to one side. That means then that if I need them, I've got them, but if I don't need them, I'll eat them later. And just for clarification, I'm definitely not Batman. Okay, let's keep checking this. It's actually, oh. Okay, 87, going down nicely. Bit more. And then the fun. 85. Okay, I'm going to risk it. Here we go. Here we go. No going back now. Oh, I think I'm glad I took those crisps out. Yes, I am. This is 3 bars of dark chocolate. If you want to do this at home, here's some tips and tricks for you. Shut all your cats out of the kitchen. Very important. Just in the sitting room. You don't have to put them outside or anything like that, because the last thing you need in this is cat hair or cats walking all over it. Now, another tip or trick is use a spatula, but definitely not a pastry bag. Okay, now I'm going to get in here and pat this now. This is a very strange feeling. But I pat it, I hug it, I pat it a bit more. This is actually rather good. Definitely try this at home, but stick your paper down better than I have, because it's just coming apart. Ah! Paper coming apart. Now, as Max once pointed out, this is all the main food groups right here. Fat, salt, sugar, potatoes and chocolate, all the main food groups. Now, I think my ratio of crisps to chocolate is not good. What do you think, Hercules? I think I can see too many naked crisps. However, not daunted, I'm going to persevere, because there's loads of chocolate underneath here. So I'm just going to carry on patting it, and the deal is that I pat it and hit it and hug it. No, I'm not going to hug it because it's very sticky. And I'm going to pat it until the chocolate's gone solid. And it hasn't made anything like as much as I hoped it would. Because I'm going to pack this up in little bags for my kids. So let's make it a little bit thinner. Let's get you crisps in. Now, I'll tell you another thing that doesn't translate terribly well across the Atlantic, and that's Ricky Gervais's The Office. Because, of course, Ricky Gervais wrote The Office. It is the best. Any imitations are pale in comparison. So, discuss. Use both sides of the paper. But if you wanted me now to pass the time by quoting at length from Monty Python, I could quite easily do that. Because at the age of 64, I've spent a lifetime of quoting Monty Python. Now, just a moment, guys. You wondered what the knife was for, didn't you? I know. Look at that, eh? Not quite so adept as Steve and Max at doing this. Terry too, she's good at doing this. Get it all off there so that it's on the table. And do a bit more patting. So Hercules, you're managing this lockdown situation pretty well. Craig hasn't stopped putting out videos, which is good, because we all need Hercules Candy videos. Now, I think I'm going to say that's too thick, so I'm going to pat it a little bit thinner. And I know from my homework, watching these, that I have to carry on patting this until it's solid. Is that right? This is more fun than it should be. I'd just like to thank my sponsor, Eddie, for sending me this t-shirt, which is it's obviously camouflage t-shirt. If you're in a tie-dye situation, you could put this on and just disappear entirely. Okay, Steve, how am I doing? Aren't I glad I didn't put those ones in? Would have been far too... the crisp to chocolate ratio would have been completely wrong. And I haven't got the kettle here so that I can't pour more on. Okay, so it's definitely solidifying around the edges here, which is good. I'm going to scrape that in a bit. I know that's not something I've ever seen you do, but look at me, I'm doing it. Just keep patting, get it a little bit thinner, otherwise the pieces will have to be smaller, won't they? Just keep patting. The patting, apart from making sure all the crisps are completely covered, helps to temper the chocolate, I've learned from Steve. And tempered chocolate means that it's got a nice snap when it's solid, and so it's not soft and soggy when you try to snap it, and it doesn't bloom, which is where you get that horrible kind of the rising of the cocoa solids. All of this is Steve, none of this is me. The rising of the cocoa solids to the top of the chocolate, which gives it that sort of ghostly bloomed look. It still tastes fine, but it doesn't look shiny and quite so nice. I think I've done amazingly well not to taste these yet. Now, it's not solid, so I'm going to keep patting for a bit longer. But I've got the white chocolate on the stove just melting a little because I want to drizzle the top of this with white chocolate. Because Anna, my daughter-in-law, white chocolate's her favourite. So, I think she probably likes crisps and dark chocolate as well. And it's her birthday on Sunday. So she's going to get some of these. So I'm going to just see what I can do now with the white chocolate. Well, it's melting beautifully, but this is not good, is it? So I'm going to get another pair, or at least another one, because I use these gloves for my beekeeping, and it's really hard to find gloves at the moment to buy them. And so I need to keep them. I could wash these, couldn't I? How about that? If I wash my hands, then you shouldn't get water in chocolate. See, I learnt loads from Steve. It's getting really firm now. Yeah, guys, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wash this off because I can't afford to keep using my beekeeping gloves. I just can't. I can't run out of them. So I'm going to do a weird thing now and wash my hands with gloves on, and then dry them really, really well so that no water gets into the white chocolate. Back in a minute. Well, gee willikers, that worked. I'm going to go and see to my white chocolate now and get that to temper. Another spatula, I think. Fortunately, I am a 2-spatula household. Oh, that's too hot. Way too hot. Okay, so I'm going to have to do all that cooling down malarkey again. Let's see what that is. Guess what that is, guys? 130. I could be some time. So if the camera battery goes, we'll come back and do this later. Oh, it smells good. I've got really good white chocolate here. Well, the best there is with vanilla pods in it. Okay, so I'm just going to cool this down now pretty robustly. It didn't need that amount of heat underneath it, but then we're going to take that bit off there. It's a bit lumpy. But then I'm going to drizzle it all over the top. Okay, guys, I'll see you back here in about half an hour.
One eternity later.
Well, fiddlesticks, that's all I've got to say about this. Jeezaloo and Tiddlywinks. This is when I should do a spiral, get my hand in there and do a spiral, but there really isn't enough. I'd get it all over my hands and there'd be none left in the bowl. So I don't think we're going to do that. But you should watch Steve spiral that chocolate, cooling it down on his chocolate table. It's quite a thing to see, I have to say. Impressive. In the time it's taken for this to cool down, Cara's had a chance to paint an amazing mural on both windows. A lovely big rainbow for the lockdown. You can't hurry this. This is nice and hard now. And shiny. Isn't that good? It's nearly 100 now. That means it's 104. What I should have done was to melt half of it and then put the other half in when it was melted to cool it down. Next time I make potato chip bark, crisp bark. Potato chip bark sounds better, doesn't it? Crisp bark, potato chip bark. Yeah, it sounds better. But the next time I make this and I want to use white chocolate for the top like I'm going to, I'll do that. I'll keep half of the chocolate out so that I can cool it down with that and help to temper it faster. If you're doing this at home, there's a top tip for you. Grate it in, melt the first part of it and then grate in some extra. Then you won't have to do this. Of all the Hercules Candy Tribute videos I could have made, this is the easiest, isn't it? I did have a think about making some hard candy and, getting a hook on the wall and the syrup and all of that. What's it called? The stuff that you pick up like a molten ball of and let it go into the pan, and then the sugar and then all those food colourings, and then pulling it on the hook and then pulling it out and making ribbon candy or hard candy. Too many stages, guys, too many stages. This is by far the easiest. It's on 88 now. Another 2 degrees. Let's not spoil the ship for a ha'porth of white chocolate, eh? That's on 88 now. I think it's fine. Now, if Steve was doing this, he'd take a great big handful of it out and spread it all over the... So let's get a clean knife and do that. Because I'm nothing if not authentic. Okay, guys, are we ready? Should I do it with a spoon? Yeah, I'm going to do it with the spatula. I've chickened out. Sorry, Steve. Oh, satisfying. Now, I watched them make, what was it called again? Peanut butter, potato... Oh no, what was it called? Peanut butter potato chip bark. That's as simple as that. With peanut butter chocolate. Now, if I'm going to go to all the bother of putting this white chocolate on, we might as well have plenty. Ooh. And all up to the edges too. Doesn't that look fantastic? A bit more in the middle. Oh, that's a big bit. Now, that then, I think, will do. Yeah, aren't we glad we kept these extra crisps out? It's just about right there. A big blob of white there. A little bit more white here. Make sure the edges get plenty. Yeah, that's enough, I think. Right, I think I've judged that okay. I'm just going to wait another few minutes for this thicker bit of white chocolate to set up really nice and firm. And then, so I'll have a clear round while that's happening. And put these crisps away. Actually, that one's got chocolate on it. I'll have to eat that one later. And that one's not very nice. Yeah, so I'm going to have a clear up. So the last thing we have to do is cut it up. It's pretty solid. Some of the white's not as set as I would like it to be, but I'm impatient, so I'm just going to do it. I've got a pizza cutter here, and I'm just going to cut it into bite-sized chunks. I don't know why I'm going across the ways. Let's see how it goes. Not straight either. There we go. That one's a bit big as well. Just get this out. I'm fiddling now. There we go. That'll do. Stop, Kate, stop. So this is great because John's just arrived on his way home from work. He's 2 meters away and he came for eggs, yeah?
Came for eggs.
He's come for eggs.
Eggs.
I collect eggs. I put eggs aside for him and Anna every week. Now, you've just arrived at a good moment because you can take some of this with you. Would you like to try a bit first?
What is it?
Oh, sorry. What is it? Well, this is Hercules Candy potato chip bark. I've made it with plain chocolate with white chocolate drizzled on the top because that's what I had.
Okay.
And it's crisps.
Right, savoury crisp.
It's yes, it's salty crisps with chocolate. I know it sounds bizarre, but honestly, I'll tell you this: they make this at Hercules Candy. The last video I saw of them making this, they were making the whole side of the table. Both Max and Steve were making it, and Terry came in and she said, "I'm glad you're making that." She said that will all have sold out by this evening, and they sell it online to folk who just buy it like fun. So I'm gonna, shall I just give you a halfy piece just to try?
Sounds good.
Okay, all right, there's a little halfy piece. I'll put it over there for you. And then I'm gonna bag a bit up in these bags here. Now this is a little tip at home, if you're doing this at home, just put it in these bags. What do you think, John?
Yeah.
It's surprisingly good, isn't it?
It's got a bit of the salted caramel to it, hasn't it?
I see. Yes, the saltiness. Yeah. So
Very good, well done.
you can take this as a bag home with you.
Impressive, huh?
Thank you. I was going to give it to Anna for her birthday, but I think it's just like, so you get a little bag and you make sure the seam's at the back. And then I haven't got my gloves on, but this is just going to John and Anna. I'll pick it up with a knife and then you put a piece in and make sure that the pretty bit's at the front. And there's a bit with a load of white on, because I know Anna likes white chocolate. And so just make sure, I'm not going to weigh it. I could put this on the orange scales now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put some on here for
what are you
you.
going to do with the rest of it?
You're going to get a fair bit, and it's Adam's birthday soon, and I thought that I'd put some in the post for him.
Right.
Okay, and do you think you and Anna will eat this?
I mean, it's moreish, isn't it?
It is moreish. It is. So make sure that the bag looks quite pretty.
Probably best not to eat too much of it, but
I'll put one more piece in then. 2 more pieces?
however many you think. I mean,
Well, will you and Anna eat this? You're not going to...
You know what else you've got in mind for it.
Okay,
So.
I'll put one more piece in. There's a big piece there. Just make sure it looks really nice. And then... So then you bundle it all up like that. Now, you can all finish this with me if you like. Because now what you've got to do... You know, don't you? You have to tie it like you're choking someone. Karen, who works at Hercules Candy, is the sweetest person, and she ties these bags up, and that's what she says, tie it like you're choking somebody. So that then, I'll put it there for you, is for you and Anna.
That's very impressive, isn't it?
Pretty.
She's done good, isn't she?
I'll bag some of this up now. I've got some more of these bags, and I can choke another bag. And that one can be from Martha and Adam, if I can get that to them. And then if you like this, there'll be a bit more.
Brilliant. Very good, huh?
But when I tell you that is 12 packets of crisps, 3 big bars of plain chocolate.
It's quite a lot of...
Yes, it is. So when you're eating this, bear that in mind.
Yeah.
There you go.
I guess the same goes for you.
Oh, I'm not going to eat much of this at all. Just the edges. I'll eat the edges.
Yeah.
And I'll pack up another nice bag now for Martha and Adam. I'm sure Martha and Adam are going to love this, aren't they?
A little bit like tiffin, really. It's the same principle.
Except for the saltiness.
Well, it's the same, no, I'm saying it's the same principle.
Yeah. Well,
Like
you'd use
crush
biscuit.
something.
You'd
and
use
then
biscuit,
cover it in
wouldn't you?
chocolate.
Actually, that would be a nice thing to make. Crushed up digestive biscuits.
It's just tiffin, then, isn't it? So yes, it would.
Well, this is one of Hercules'
But with
bestsellers.
tiffin, they put cherries in it, and
I know, and nuts and.
is it not the same as Rocky Road?
Rocket. Do you know? It's quite a thing, isn't it? This.
What, Rocky Road?
No, it's a genre of food.
Yeah, chocolate covered in smashed up stuff.
Yeah, there you go. But they've been making this at Hercules for years. So this is a little bag full for...
What do they call it?
They call it potato chip bark.
Right.
And I've had this argument, really, that they're not chips, are the things you have with fish.
Crisps.
And these are crisps. So this is crisp bark, which doesn't sound anything like as good, does it? See you next time.
See you guys.